Hansen is currently the president and CEO of Floodlight Software, which is a SaaS company which provides the only completely digitized end-to-end business management platform specifically designed for inspection companies. With over 20 years of experience assisting enterprise organizations make operational improvements through process analysis and mobile solutions, Ms. Azari has recently turned her attention to the NDT industry. In addition to leading Floodlight Software, she also participates in ASNT's NDE 4.0 committee, which strives to speed up and improve adoption of the industrial 4.0 technologies to advance the safety goals of NDT. Nazrin has a master's in computer science with a focus on mobile computing and an MBA with a focus on entrepreneurship. She has spent the last 30 years working in the enterprise software industry, specifically with IBM, Sony Ericsson, Mobile Research, and now Floodlight Software. She is passionate about helping companies improve business operations and loves the NDT industry because it's all about making the world a safer place to live and work. This is a presentation that's near and dear to my heart. If you were at my presentation yesterday, I think there'd be a lot of themes. So, Nazrin, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for that great introduction, Steve. Can everybody hear me in the back? Okay, good. I don't have one of those voices that does carry, unlike some of the previous presenters today, so I always need to make sure I'm using the mic. So today we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk to you about digital transformation, what that means to an NDT company, and some of my tips for you on how to be as successful as possible in that journey. I'm going to start off with a little bit more introduction of myself, although Steve did a great job, so I won't spend too much time here. But I am the president and CEO of Floodlight Software, which is a digitalization platform specifically for testing and inspection companies. So basically what Floodlight does is it provides a platform for you to digitalize your operations from quote to cash during your inspection processes. And that's a great first step towards digital transformation. I would say that my strongest expertise is around helping companies to map out and make improvements in their business and operational processes. I do have a strong background in mobile solutions and digital workflows. And as Steve mentioned, I've been involved in this initiative, this NDE 4.0 initiative, which some of you, how many of you have heard of NDE 4.0? Okay, that's basically bringing industry 4.0 technologies like artificial intelligence, analytics, IoT into this industry, and it's really fascinating and really exciting, and I'm a huge advocate for those initiatives, and I'm excited about that. So today, in terms of an agenda, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what digital transformation means for an organization in general, give you a few practical guidelines. I put together a model for digital transformation that I'll walk through with you, and then talk about some of the pitfalls that people run into. And before we get started, I'd like to see a show of hands of people who have attempted digital transformation in your organization. Big show of hands. And then raise them really high and keep them up if you would call it a success. Or maybe like half, partial success. Okay. So just for your information, over all industries, less than 30% of digital transformations are considered successful, meaning that they achieve the goals that they were set out to. So what I take that to mean is that digital transformation is not easy. It's a hard thing to do, and I think a lot of people underestimate the difficulty and the challenges and the work involved in digital transformation, and sometimes that's partially why digital transformations are not as successful as they could be. A couple of other statistics along those lines, that for digital transformations are generally less successful for larger companies. For those of you here that have a smaller organization, it's a little bit easier to achieve digital transformation, largely because there's fewer people that you have to engage and bring along for the ride. And then another important statistic, I think, for this industry is that for the traditional industries, which are things like oil and gas, transportation, and infrastructure, that success rate goes down to 11%. So there's some work to be done in digital transformation, and that's really what I want to do, is raise awareness of some of the challenges and some of the tips, so that when you do go about your digital transformation journey, hopefully it will be more successful for you, and you'll have more resilience in yourself and your organization to achieve success. All right, so what I want to start off with is this puzzle piece diagram. A lot of people associate digital transformation with technology, and technology is a very big part of digital transformation, no doubt. But there's some other components that are also really important. Processes, of course, processes being how you do your work. And when you incorporate new technologies, you are changing your processes. In fact, I would argue that the only reason to bring technology into your business is to make process improvements. But then there's also a mindset around digital transformation that is really, really important. And I think one of the strongest indicators of success is how committed you are to this mindset, and how well your mindset reflects digital transformation. And then of course innovation is part of it. And I look at innovation as this ongoing process of enabling transformation within your organization. So we're going to dig into each of these a little bit more, starting with mindset. So mindset to me is setting a culture within your organization that supports and enables digital transformation. And the first thing is to, don't accept the status quo necessarily. Challenge how you do business today. Be open to new ideas of how things can be performed better in your environment, and encourage your team to do the same, and encourage conversation around whether or not this is the best method of performing a particular task or a particular process, and just kind of have that mentality in place of being open to change. Definitely embracing learning. So digital transformation involves learning about new ways of doing business, about new technologies to bring into your environment, and developing new skills as well to support those new processes and those new technologies. I feel like NDT companies are already very, very customer focused. So that's the leg up that you guys have that some other businesses don't have as much of. So when I think about NDT companies, what are some ways, when you're focused on the value that you provide to your customers, when you're thinking about improvements, in what way can you provide improvements to your business that will help your customers? Is it improving the accuracy of your results that you provide to them, your reports, your reporting, your results? Improving the timeliness of your work. Can you provide your inspection work more quickly, or results more quickly, or even in progress while you're performing your inspection task? Is there information, when I think about inspection, and I don't have as much experience with performing NDT inspections, but I did just recently buy a house. And one of the things that we went through in the house purchase was getting a home inspection. And when we got our home inspection, it was about 25 pages long. I skipped to the end and said, whew, everything's good. We passed our inspection. I was relieved. The mortgage loan's going to go through. That's great. There was 25 pages of information that I really just skimmed through until we started the remodel, and realized I should pay more attention to the little things. And are there things in your business, when you're providing results to your customers, that could provide them with more valuable knowledge, more information about their assets than just simply a pass or a fail? All right, so that's sort of the mindset, is challenging current assumptions, being open to new ideas, embracing learning across the organization, and being supremely customer focused and aware of the value that you provide to your customers and that you can provide to your customers. The second puzzle piece in that diagram is about process. I look at digital transformation as business process improvement. When you go about a digital transformation exercise, it really is about making changes to improve how you do your business, how you do your work. So when you go through a process improvement, a business process improvement exercise, you start by looking at how you do your processes today. Look for any areas that are inefficient, or particularly, I tell folks to ask your team or be aware, observe where the frustrations are. Where are people getting frustrated? Where are they making mistakes? Where are they causing errors? Or where are errors being input into the process such that you are forced to go do rework or to double check values and results to make sure that everything is correct. So looking for inefficiencies, looking for bottlenecks in your processes, looking for areas where there's errors or problems, and then of course looking for opportunities where maybe a process is just slower than it needs to be. How can we speed this up? So that's analyzing your current processes, and then taking a look at better operating methods, collaborating and brainstorming on how you can better perform your processes, looking at new technologies, industry best practices, a lot of times focus groups where you're working with other people within your industry at events like this, and asking them how they've incorporated new different technologies, or how do they perform a task that you might find particularly difficult in your company, your organization. And then finally, just reimagine and redesign your processes. So process analysis is a really fun exercise where you map out your processes, you draw red circles around the areas that are problematic, and then you try to redesign those and create the ideal process. And then you want to incorporate technologies that can make it better, right? Okay, so this is where a lot of people think of digital transformation in terms of NDT. Obviously, new inspection tools, tools that provide digital results, continuous monitoring systems, sensors, IoT, things like that. Where Floodlight plays is the digital infrastructure area, creating a digital business workflow for your business, helping manage data in a digital fashion so that it's accessible for queries, for future understanding, for historical information, and setting the stage for new emerging technologies that you can bring into your business, such as digital twins, analytics, AI, etc. So the final piece of the puzzle is a piece that I call innovation. And we're all familiar with the term, and we all know that innovation is a valuable part of any business, particularly NDT businesses. And but innovation doesn't just happen, right? I mean, a lot of times we think, oh, a light bulb went off and I have been inspired, this brand new way of doing things, or this new invention. Sometimes that does happen. Like if you go to sleep at night with a problem in your head and you wake up in the morning with a solution, that's great. But if you really want to create an innovative organization, you have to enable that environment. And it does start with culture. It starts with that mindset where you're open to new ideas, where you encourage people to brainstorm, you encourage conversations on when there's a problem that you discover in the organization or in a process. Put together a group of people to analyze what happened here and how can we fix it. And generally what I would say is that you don't want to point fingers, right? Pointing fingers is the opposite of innovation. Pointing fingers makes people close up, but being open to trying to figure out why and trying to figure out how to change and how to become better as an organization opens the door to innovation. I'm also going to say that vision or sort of your change story, right? Identifying where you want to go, where you want to take the business, really sets the stage for innovation, because it helps people understand where you're trying to go. We're trying to get to this point out here. Here we are today. Help me figure out how we get from where we are today to there. That's what you want in your company. You want your innovations that are generated by your team, by yourself, to get you closer to your goals.